Now I was just shuffling these cards, and before I cut the video on, I scrolled a little bit. Something popped up on my tablet that said, cut them off. It's time to cut them off and block them. As I started shuffling the cards, I kept seeing adult children and identity theft. Also seen water signs. Somebody could have a water sign adult child who may be into some things that are against you and what you stand for and who you are, and may just be coming against you as a person. I was listening to something one time and it said sometimes, you know, we have to start looking at adult children as if they are just adults and not like they are our little babies anymore, because they move as adults. They do things as an adult. And therefore they need consequences of adults. We can't step in and save them all the time. We have to allow them to deal with the consequences of their actions. We have to allow them to deal with the consequences of their actions. Blood, yeah, this is somebody's adult child. This is not just any adult child coming for you. This is your own flesh and blood. This adult child could be clout chasing. This adult child could be doing things to try to get attention. This adult child could be sending subliminal messages. And so, if you've been getting a lot of these subliminal messages, this could definitely be why. It could be from your own child here who's coming up against you. I know we like to ask ourselves why would our own children be doing things to come up against us, especially those of us who have raised our own children without any help. You think they would be on your team. You think they would be doing things to remain in your good graces. They would be showing some type of loyalty to you, to a situation. But we never know what they're truly thinking, what's really in their heart. And so somebody here may be needing to cut off their adult children or an adult child who is doing something to come against you. Proverbs chapter 23 verses 4 says, do not wear yourself out trying to gain wealth. We did see clout chasing here, and so this could be someone doing, this adult child could be doing something to try to gain some type of wealth, gain some type of status when it comes down to celebrities or people with money. And they could definitely be coming up against you by doing this. Proverbs chapter 17 verses 23 says, a wicked man will take a bribe in secret to pervert the course of justice. And so that's what this child may have actually done. This child may have taken some type of bribe. You could be going through something, and this child could have taken some type of bribe in order to stop you from receiving the justice that you're supposed to be receiving from whatever it is that you went through. This child could be clout chasing themselves. Maybe they want to receive No, we already seen someone's doing something for money here, for wealth. And so you could have an adult child who's out here trying to sabotage you for money. And at that point, we have to just leave them where they stand. We can't keep trying to coddle them. Blessings here. You could be about to receive some type of blessings. It says don't give up. Because from the looks of it, your own child here, your own child is coming up against you, trying to delay or distract you from something so that whatever this is doesn't come to you, because they want whatever this is, maybe the wealth for themselves. I just seen toxic, doppelganger, and blood. So this person could, your own child could be your doppelganger. Your own child could be someone out here. And you know, we love when our children want to be like us. But being like us and actually stealing our identity is two different things. Two completely different things. And you could probably have a child out here that's doing something to try and take on your identity in order for them to have whatever gift or rewards, whatever it is that you have. This is like trying to destiny swap. You know, the more I talk about it, the more I hear myself. And this is like trying to destiny swap with a person, where this person is trying to be you. And they're trying to sabotage you so that you won't be seen in your life. They're trying to sabotage you so you won't receive these blessings. So it'll come to them. This could be your own child who's doing this to you. Now, if you are like me and you've taught your children, yeah, I can't make it up, y'all. I just cut the deck. I closed it back as soon as I cut it, but this is what I cut the deck on. Children. Your own children that's doing this to you. And it says taking their anger out on others. This could also be a family setup. Your family could definitely be in on convincing this child, persuading this child to do something like this. But this is an adult child, and so they very well know right from wrong. Unless this child has some type of mental illness, you know, they know right from wrong. And so at the end of the day, even if they did have some type of peer pressure, they are still able to make choices for themselves to benefit themselves. And so they would know the kind of choices they should not be making to come up against their own parents. This person could be in their ego. And oh man, God has a way of sitting you down when you are in your ego, when you are a self-centered person, when you just focus on yourself, when you don't worry about others. God has a way of sitting you down, unfortunately. And it's unfortunate that this adult child may have to go through some things where God causes them some type of ego death and sit them down. And you may want to step in when this child is going through these things, this spiritual awakening, because it could be hard on them. But I advise you to not. Do not step in. Do not step in. If you see them hungry, feed them, but do not step in to try to prevent them from going through whatever it is that they're going to go through. Because this is the whole purpose right here. This child needs to believe and understand what it is that's going on. This child needs to believe that they are not in charge, that God sees everything that they do, and that it's God's will. They won't have the last word. They need to know that your crown doesn't fit them. They need to know that the only thing they can do is fix themselves so that they can wear their own crown. And I feel like this child right here is about to endure some things that's going to sit them down. And out of love, you just need to not step in, because this is a lesson they need to learn for your sake and for theirs. It's a lesson that they need to learn. If you have grandchildren, your grandchild is safe. Don't worry about whether that child is safe or not, because they are. You're going to have to let this person go through whatever it is that's coming to them, because they've been using their time to come up against you, the person who had them, the person who raised them, their own parent, for money. It's a naive person. It's a person who feels like, excuse my French, but their shit don't stink. This is a person who feels like they're able to get away with things, and maybe it's because they've gotten away with it for so long. Maybe this was a child who was spoiled. This person has a bad attitude. And they used to trying to get their way. And so you're going to have to allow this person to go through whatever it is that they're about to experience, because they're about to experience something. What they're trying to do is take your place or bring you down so that you won't have whatever this is for you. Imagine that. And so if it's some type of money, some type of position in life where you could have actually helped this adult child do something, the fact that this is happening where they're trying to take this from you or trying to knock you from it speaks volumes. I honestly don't feel like they deserve the help. I don't feel like they deserve you stepping in and allowing them to benefit from something that they were trying so desperately to keep you from. Yeah, this person loves to keep up drama, and they about to go through a hard ego death right here. Hard ego death. I was listening to something earlier, and it said somebody's about to be taken out of your life. They're about to be removed from your life. And it's because they've been trying to come up against God and the things that God has for you. They've been fighting to keep you from. And so they could have been doing a lot of things in the background. And you may have not known it was your own child, because you don't want to think of your own child in this way. You don't want to think that they would come after a person that has taken care of them all their life. You don't want to think that they would come for the person who they came from. Don't feel like this is a stepchild or someone that is not close to you. This is a child that you raised. And so you have to think they have some type of psychological thing going on where they would be going out of their way to come for you, to stop you from, to stop you to be causing issues to you. You think it's something going on, y'all. But you know, we like to talk to our children and figure out what's going on with them. We like to try to make things right to help them through whatever it is that they may be going through mentally, emotionally, when they're going through things like this. In this case, this is an adult child I don't think talking to them is going to solve the issue because they are very aware of what they're doing. They could even be doing some type of candle magic over you. We have reverse all spell work right here. This person is spiritually stalking you, and so they know everything that you're doing. They know your thoughts, they know your moves. This child, you have no privacy with this child who's probably not around you, but this child is doing things in the background to cause you mishaps, to cause you missed opportunities, to cause you trouble in your life. All the things that God wants to give you, this child is doing things in the background to try to stop. So it's like this child is going directly against God, and God is about to sit this child down. Let's hope this is not a physical death that they're about to endure, because I know that that'll hurt any parent. But God has a way of doing things, and this child needs to be stopped. They don't want to see you have, I don't know, maybe this child is possessed with something. There's something going on with this child's mental state. It's easy to step in and get counseling, get therapy, get an exorcism if that's what's needed for this child. But as an adult, it's not that easy to step in and try to help them with things that they may need in order to get over whatever this is that they're going through in their mind, because this is a mental issue here. This is something going on mentally for you to come up against your own parent. This is a very, very bad spirit that's attached to this person. I see envy here, which again I would say is definitely a mental issue, because what would cause you to be jealous or envious of your own parent? There is something going on there, unless you're listening to another parent. And my concern with that would be, are you listening to the parent that didn't raise you to come up against the parent who put their time and energy into raising you? Are you listening to the parent that did not have anything to do with your upbringing, who didn't call and check on you, who maybe didn't care if you lived or died, wasn't concerned with whether or not you had something to eat, to come up against the parent who fed you, made sure you had clothes, shoes, food, was there for you emotionally, who wanted to see you win? Because again, that's a mental issue that needs to be fixed there. If this child is listening, I would advise this child to pray, because God is about to strong arm something in your life, and it's going to bring a lot of things down that you think right now you're in control, but God is in control over everything. And I would definitely again say pray, because if you think for 1 second you can overpower what God has, there's something going on in your mind that's not right. You need to pray those kind of demons away from you, because Lord forbid you're a person that's not here tomorrow to even be mad or come up against someone to even benefit from something, to not benefit from anything. If you're gone, you can't come back from that. And especially if you have a child, now you're not even around to for your own child, because you were spending so much time trying to take the life of your own parent. And instead, God came down and took your life. You don't want that. You don't want to be made an example for the rest of the children in the world who decide they're going to come up against their own parents. You know, even the Bible says at the end of times, you're going to have sons against their fathers, daughters against their mothers. And so y'all know we are definitely living in those times right now as we speak. The slanderer goes about revealing confidential talk. Do not associate yourself with one who gossip. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 19. And so your child could be telling your business, your personal business. We already see spiritually stalking here, and so they could be telling personal business that they should not even know of. This has to be a child that does some type of magic, some type of divination in order for them to even be watching you spiritually. And this is why I say people have to reach a certain maturity level before they should be able to do certain things in life, because you clearly haven't reached a certain maturity level if you're spiritually stalking your parents, one or the other, if not both, and you're doing things to come against them because you're jealous and envious. That's someone who's not mentally mature. Sounds psychotic to me. Slander, talking bad about someone here who raised you. You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for this person. Mm. This is what it all comes from. This is what it stems from right here. This is what it stems from right here. There's an emotional child out here with some type of mental illness, some type of mental disturbance here. Something could have happened at a hotel or a resort. Oh, this is an ego death here, and this is not an actual physical death. With someone who think they're coming up against a parent and they're coming up against God's will. I advise you to sit down and get a little bit more in touch with yourself. If you're the child and if you're the parent, I don't know whether to say. To try and talk to this child or to remove yourself from this child, because this child is trying to hurt you mentally, emotionally, financially. This child is trying to hurt you, maybe even physically. Yeah, I didn't even see these two cards were stuck together here. Loves to keep up drama. Prayer is what I would suggest that you do for that child, because that's all you can do at this point. When a child decides they're going to come up against their own parent, try to do things to sabotage their own parent, all you can really do is pray for them. I wouldn't advise you to keep going around them, to give them the opportunities to do whatever it is that they're trying to do to you. Family set up about finances. It's about money. We seen at the beginning somebody clout chasing. Wealth is an issue here. It's about money. They're taking their anger out on others. They don't want you to have money. So this isn't new, y'all. This is nothing new. We've seen a lot of times where people will make sacrifices with their own family members, with parents, in order for them to have this fame, this fortune here. We see this all the time. Speaking of this, I can't make it up. We see this all the time where someone sacrifices one of their family members for them to have some type of wealth, some type of abundance, some type of success, some type of fame. And this could definitely be the case here. It says you are a winner. And so where you may have done things the right way, you may have made the right sacrifices. You may have sacrificed your ego, sacrificed your time, your energy to raise your children. You may have sacrificed yourself where you went long periods of time not being able to do anything except for just making it, just barely making it in order to make sure your children had, in order to make sure they were in a good situation. You could just now be reaching a point where you are able to do something for yourself, where you are reaping the rewards of whatever the seeds that you have sown. And these people are jealous of whatever it is that's coming for you, whatever it is that you're supposed to have. This is a child who doesn't want to put in the work. They want to just take this from you and maybe even take care of you. You know, it's so funny. My daughter told me that the other day. Whatever she do, she was going to take care of me. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 11. Even a child is known by his actions, whether his behavior is pure and right. You'll reap what you sow. You will reap what you sow. A lot of people out here are able to get away with stuff like that. Sacrifices made on their own parents, their own grandparents. And it's because a lot of times the grandparents weren't right themselves. It's because a lot of times these parents or grandparents wasn't connected to who they should have been connected to. And I don't mean the governor or the mayor or some famous celebrity here. I mean God. I mean Jesus Christ. They wasn't connected here to what they should have been connected to in order to save them from those situations here. But imagine someone who's coming against you and you're highly connected to God. You have built a relationship with God. Then the sacrifice or whatever this is that they're trying to do is not going to work. Then the spell work or whatever it is they're doing in the background is going to backfire. And so if it's some type of sacrifice they're trying to make against you, then the sacrifice is going to go to them themselves. That's why you have to be careful who you do things like this on, who you do things like this to. That doesn't work for everybody. You can't do what you see a lot of other people do and expect it to work for you. And again, this is not new. It's not something that's new. People have been doing this. Unfortunately, I feel like this child, it made a mistake. Fastidious, very attentive to, and concerned about accuracy and detail. Child may have made a mistake here. And hopefully it's just an ego death for them, trying to get whatever this is that could be coming to you. Hopefully this is just an ego death and not an actual physical death. Because we don't want that for any of our children, whether they are young children or old children. We always feel like we should be going before our child does. But at the same time, you're not supposed to lay down and let your adult child just take your life. And so if you need to move away from this person, then I would definitely say move away from them and let them go through whatever it is they're going to go through. Pray for them and move away from them. Because this is a family moving off money. They're not moving off love. They're moving off money. Hi from Brazil. It says burial, y'all. This is burial and funeral arrangements. Pray for this child that God doesn't come down and remove this child from the world, let alone your life. Pray for this child to have a better understanding. Pray for this child to maybe repent of whatever it is that they've done. Our children deserve to have a life, to be able to live a life that's not our lives. They can't take our lives from us. They have to do the work themselves so they can see themselves fit, so God can see them as being fit to have whatever this is. You can't just take it. Making sacrifices doesn't just work on everybody. And so I hope this is not the case here with someone that's tried to do that. Pray for your children, y'all. Because this is a physical death right here. This is burial. This chaos and ruin. False projects. Somebody working on some things that was never going to come to fruition. Somebody having high hopes for something that was never supposed to be. Somebody's trying to change God's will, and they felt like in their mind that they could change God's will. Family. For gains, for riches, for money. I'm going to end it here, y'all. I'll be back.